Hello,
Seamus.
and welcome back. and welcome
And
back.
how sexual can we make this?
And welcome back to our next installment of Gotham by Night. As we introduce our
It's
characters.
Gotham. They have people dressing in full leather. We can get as sexual as we want. Okay, that's my question
Yeah,
answered.
one-eyed monsters coming all in. So I will go from top to bottom and have people introduce their characters and or roles.
They're all fine.
Our characters and our what?
I will be introducing
Oh.
people from top to bottom. They will be introducing their characters and or roles, starting with Mr. Alistair Bigby. Go.
I am Alistair Bigby. I am a wolf doctor person, and I suck at it. And that's it.
You just suck at it?
Yeah, you just suck at it. really
Maybe you
good.
need to practice your craft a little more.
What are you talking about? All of your medical roles, like throughout this entire campaign, have been godlike.
Nothing
you
he
think
does
that.
will ever be good though, because he made a little error in the other dimension.
Yeah, he miscalculated a little bit.
Just a little.
Just
Man,
a
why
little
wasn't
bit.
I here for this? I wanted to listen to that.
You weren't here for the Fae session. Sorry.
Oh
They
god.
went to meet the Winter Queen.
And things
Oh,
happened. Oh.
Julius
Well,
so needed to be a part of that.
It's okay. Well, maybe in one of the mini stories, Seamstress will be happy enough to bring Julius into the Winter Court.
Well, his vice is lust, and his virtue is temperance.
So spring?
Maybe.
Maybe. Though his aesthetics drive more towards the gothic butler type of thing.
So we have Mr. Julius the bartender, and going down, Seamstress, what will your role tonight be?
I am the co-ST and voice that is a bit sadistic at times, but I definitely bring the flavor.
Coolio. Down to Miss Saris.
Sadistic and sexual.
Sometimes.
Why does everything you say
All the
sound
time.
sexual?
Because
fun
that's
time.
how I am.
No, I was talking to Seamstress, but yeah, you too. Sarah's Victoria. Sarah's Victoria, please introduce.
I'm just the creepy sexual.
Saris, don't die on us.
Sorry. So yeah, I'm Sarah Victoria. I'm a military police girl. Got me a kick-ass anti-tank rifle, some kind of cyborg thingy. Got an anti-vampire and the ghost of my not specified but strongly hinted at boy
Lover.
toy in my head and in my chest. Like literally, the vamp is
Don't
in
we
my heart.
all?
Well, you were scraping the bottom of the barrel since he is French.
Oh.
What?
Low blow.
You said you watched. You said
I
you watched
did
Helsing
watch it.
Ultimate.
I did.
A
I
bridge.
got the reference.
I did watch it. It's been a while. Shut up.
Oh, and they're French. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. There, are we? No offense. None
But
taken.
Morgan wasn't French. She was British. Shut up. BD.
He personally was, but he was part of a French mercenary group.
Uh-huh.
So they just went with the French route.
You're just jealous that you're not in the mood. Oh,
Exciting.
Anyways,
So, when last we left off, our heroes were crafting, training, planning, etc., getting ready for the big push back to Gotham City. A few other characters did some scouting work and a couple spirit deals and managed to get the party a little bit more prepared for what was to come. And now our story takes us to daytime, where most of the vampires are asleep, and a few of our characters are up and about, getting ready for the big push, so to speak. what was interesting is that even though it is actually monsoon season and it's supposed to be raining, it is a bright sunny day and it's almost 120 degrees where you guys are right now.
Christ.
I just make the golems move to give us shade where we need it.
For those that don't understand freedom measurement, 120 degrees Fahrenheit is 48 degrees Celsius.
Thank you, because
Thank you.
we Imperial bastards don't like to convert to anything because we're assholes.
Not gonna lie, I am scared to click on this video, seamstress. Very scared.
It's a bird.
Yeah.
It's a
and the
plane!
last one was
It's
fish.
flying snakes!
Nighttime. Daytime. Nighttime.
Which is an actual card in Cards Against Humanity.
Nighttime.
I believe it.
What are you doing? Having a game of nighttime, daytime.
So you said that you were shifting golems?
Nighttime, daytime, nighttime,
Apparently he's shifting goals from nighttime to daytime.
Sorry, I'm just really high. Gotta keep me on track, not the other way around. Remember, you guys are the DMs.
Yes. So about those golems, you're shifting them for what purpose?
To provide shade to where we need it. So we're
Sure.
not overheating.
Shade can only do so much, however, especially in this environment. Humidity.
It's very humid and muggy and 120 degrees. I've been in it, and shade does amazing things.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that it does nothing, but although there is shade, there is still just inherent
Yes.
that heat in the air.
It's like, you know, it's
Yes.
just, it's thick in the air like a soup.
We won't dehydrate as fast. How about
No.
that?
No. But the contrast between your time in Gotham City or in any city that you have been in, where aircon, or as you would say, air conditioning, was readily available. You could just go to the shop, or it's in your apartment unit. It's just always there. You can turn it on. You can feel fine. Or just in the Americas in general, or at least Gotham, where it was a bit rainy all the time. This temperature is not what you're
No,
used to.
no. Trust me, I know exactly what my character is feeling right now. Because I'm exactly like that.
Hmm.
I'm built for cold weather.
So who exactly is awake
Right now,
during the day?
We currently have
Julius and Ceres.
Julius,
and
Ceres,
Alistair.
most of the changelings, most of the werewolves are up. The only ones that are really asleep, actually, are just the vampire peeps.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the exclusion of the NPCs, Alistair is awake. Ceres should be awake.
Mhm.
Julius, you're awake, I believe.
Yep.
That's good. That's all of our players. What are you doing apart from shifting golems and trying not to melt?
He was working on getting willpower batteries since his powers run on willpower. Just preparing for the coming war.
Making magical items.
Okay. Okay.
I did my rules.
You did. That's good, but I would like to have you roleplay that out.
Ah. What would you like me to do?
That's up to you. How
Well-
do you regain willpower? What is the ritual that you do? Do you have assistance? Do you do it alone? How
I
taxing is it
kinda
on your body?
I kinda do it alone, and it's a alchemical cigarette that I smoke that helps calm the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing weed.
If you want.
The
Just not with the debilitating side effects.
The contrast, or not the contrast, rather the contraption. How much juice does it have left? I mean, you're far from Kansas.
Oh, this was an alchemical compound that I created over many years of study.
You have your alchemical study set up over in one of the tents.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you have been in this tent of meditation. You are imbibing or taking part in this maybe sacred ritual, or maybe in your mind it is just a means to an end with no spiritual relevance whatsoever. The result is the same. Your mind is clear, and you steel yourself for the upcoming war. You can feel it in your bones, even though that you are halfway across the world. Something's just not sitting right. Ceres, what are you doing while your friend is taking care of his mental health?
Mental Health Day.
Okay, I was just thinking that.
taking careful stock of what materials we've got, what things we can actually make
Yep.
or reuse. Try not to rely too much on technology, but at the same time, all my weapons are being well maintained.
Okay. So you're saying that you are taking time specifically to make sure that your weapons aren't being damaged by the environment or the elements. Make sure the gunpowder isn't being wettened, things of that nature.
Yep, and I'm also making sure that everyone has like 2 or 3 pairs of dry socks that they can switch out with. You
Good.
gotta have dry socks in the jungle. It's a must.
Absolutely. And with this kind of stress that is happening to all of you, because it is quite a stressful situation, morale is something that needs to be focused on as well. It could be just so easy to just give up and to just stay here, or to release yourself from the mortal coil, so to speak. So having just that small item, but something that gives you a level of comfort is good. So that's good. Is there anything else that you are wanting to do or have been doing in the downtime?
Speaking with some inner demons.
Yes, I've been doing that. Well, Drac would be asleep right now, so it's just me and Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to be speaking with Morgan, or are you going to be focusing on the more physical side?
Both. I'm keeping my hands busy and kind of like, asking him questions and stuff.
Okay. Well, you
Multitasking.
notice- yeah.
Yeah.
You do notice, though, when you are kind of reaching into that place within your psyche, or what replication has been given to you. Maybe it is the subconscious matrix, or the the series of electronical cells that project what might be this individual that you hold dear, while you are also working in the physical. The quality of your physical things, be that you making spears or traps to catch food, or maintaining your weapons, you notice that not only are you slower at completing tasks, but also the quality by the end of it is not as good as if you, in comparison to paying full attention to that task. So you can multitask, but the quality within the physical is not going to be as good. But what kind of questions or what kind of things were you wanting to ask the supposed loved one in your head?
Basically, battle strategies. Um, since they can leave my body and not suffer for it, I'm wondering like how we can use that.
Good
Mhm.
plan.
Yeah.
They would,
I got it.
you know, they would. Yeah, you go.
Well, love, I think one thing we're definitely gonna have to do is we might need to have the spookies kind of go ahead and scout first off, and if they got any sort of supernatural defense against us, we'll let you know. But hopefully they're just vampires, so they won't have too much in the way of planning for us. But those the pure are gonna be the problem. We're gonna need to take those ones out first and quick.
All right. So, how far can you go away from me?
Oh, about a mile. If I go any further, I just get yanked back.
Make my blood pound faster.
He just nods and makes extra sure that no, the gunpowder does not get wet. Still blowing up.
Yeah. So,
But
are
steam
you saying that
explosions
it's
are
a-
fun.
Are you saying it is a brief mental conversation because you are more worried about your?
No, I'm. Cyrus has had a shit ton of information about her origins and everything dumped on her over the last few days. It doesn't help that nearly everyone has been trying to kill her and her friends. So she's trying to make sure that everyone has like the best chance of survival. And well, not to sound heartless, but Morgan and Drac are already dead. So nothing can actually. Well, Morgan's dead. Drac is a vamp ghost thing. But apparently he would be just fine too.
In your mind, yes, or at least that is what is being told to you. But yes, you will have these conversations of battle tactics with Morgan, while making very damn well sure that your gunpowder is not compromised. Was there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, okay. Head ST, was there any tidbits of information that she would have received from?
Mostly, he would be kind of talking to you about what's going on and whatnot, but then he says he kind of wanted to ask you what you would do when it's all over. If we survive this.
Well, I want to go visit my parents' graves. Even if there's technically nothing in there, apparently.
He goes quiet a bit, and he says, yeah, I think that'd be a great place to go. I would gladly go do that with you if you'd have me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like that. Hell, we used to joke about who'd drag who off to visit the old homesteads, didn't we?
Yeah. We used to a lot. And, I don't know, I'd still like to see that become a reality. Because since I'm with you to the end at this point. You feel something a little weird happen, Saris.
Eh.
You feel something kind of brush your hair, but there's like nothing there. No gust of wind, no other thing, nothing like that.
Okay. I take a quick look and like, was that you?
I don't mean to sound a bit disheartening, love, but I've been waiting to do that for 2 years. You feel kind of a relaxing pulse kind of go through you, and any cramps or tightness or, shall we say, discomfort you've been feeling kind of flows out of you. Almost like if it was a toxic liquid, it would be flowing out of your body. Mother always did say I'd make a better masseuse than a soldier.
Why didn't you listen to her?
He goes quiet for a very long time. Oh, a couple reasons. One reason was because I just never had the patience for it. I needed something to get me out there and going, you know, something active. And he just kind of goes quiet again.
It's a good and peaceful moment in contrast to the chaos that you have been enduring. One thing after another, a ton of bricks, an overload of information about your past, who you are, um, what you're capable of, things that you thought were normal turn out to be the exact opposite, and things that seemed hostile and malevolent now possibly have something more in common with you. So this is quite a good moment of relaxation, even if um, it is a spirit or ghost or what have you from an individual that you once knew giving you a massage in the middle of a jungle. Uh, not a lot of people can say that happened to them. So congratulations on that. But as you are checking your guns, having a conversation with Morgan, the camera will zoom out for now and zoom in onto Alistair. Now, Alistair, what have you been doing? You do notice that one of your friends, if you wish to call them so, has gone into a tent to meditate or to clear their mind. You can smell some kind of thing, vapor. Maybe you are aware of this process, maybe you're not. But they are, for now, confined to this tent while the golems shield you from the sun, but not the heat. Your other friend or individual is talking to herself and making sure that her weapons are in pristine condition. So it appears that she is acting normal, fine, perhaps even a little bit relaxed. Strange considering the circumstances, but hey, stranger things have happened. But what are you doing?
Alistair is going to get a map of Gotham and mark it where he has scouted and put descriptions of areas.
Sure. What points of interest are you thinking of writing down?
Like where he thinks the vampires are holding up, or where the pure are circling about.
Mm-hmm. So you are going into a sort of tactician mode. You are planning the battlements and running scenarios through your head. You're visualizing Gotham and its. Um, how does that make you feel thinking of Gotham and what might be going on with it? What terrible things are being inflicted on it right now?
He is thinking that he should make sure that he has all the information that he can get about everything, so him and his friends don't die, or minimize the death count at least.
Of course. And during the tactical evaluation, have you been conferring or do you have any desire to confer with the spirits? Because you are in the location of a lot of nature, it would make sense that there is an abundance of spirits to speak with.
He did one not too long ago, but yeah, he's got room for more.
Yeah, he got zapped twice because he failed 2 riddles.
Well,
But
does
yeah,
that mean that you're
he'll.
going to give up, or are you going to
Oh,
keep trying
he
until you?
succeeded. He eventually succeeded. He went through a lot of pain and suffering, and he saw some old memories that he didn't wish to see, particularly about a decision he made that is still haunting him.
Mm.
Uh,
About that, as you are observing the battlements, making notes on your map, the heat that is surrounding this area, and specifically your guys' location, since there are tents and golems and a lot of bodies around, you feel something unusual, and it inspires deja vu of a sort. There is a cold, cold breeze that washes over you, almost like someone suddenly turned on an industrial or walk-in freezer, and that kind of like cold air just kind of surges out. But it kind of wraps around you so that you aren't as hot anymore. It doesn't feel malevolent, but at the same time, it also does not feel benevolent. It feels just what it is. It is almost a reminder of the decision that you made and with whom you made that decision.
Alistair is gonna look around the area, just scanning it, see if he can see anyone. And then if he can't, he'll whisper to himself, "You will protect them, won't you?" And then he goes back to fiddling with the map.
The lines in the map, you see the sewers and the subterranean subways kind of like crisscrossing and doing all of that, confusing shenanigans. You see the streets and the buildings and the monuments and all of these things, and it kind of gets to your head a little bit, especially with this strange phenomenon coming over you. And you blink a little bit to try and calm yourself down, or maybe shift the paper so that you can have a fresh look at this map. But you see that the lines are like connecting in ways that you didn't realize before. And you almost see a pattern, and you fold and you rotate the paper, and soon you see a face staring back at you. A face you know quite well. It is the Winter Queen. She stares at you from the paper. The lines of her cheekbones and her jawline and the shading of the map as her eyelids and her hair. It is some kind of abstract depiction of the Winter Queen. But there she is, just ahead, looking at you, and it does appear to be animated. Like she's moving and looking at you, blinking at you.
I'll look into her eyes and I ask again, you will protect them, won't you?
A deal has been struck. Protection is theirs. So long as you are mine. And mine you are. For quite a while, Alistair Bigby. And it is that reason why I contact you now. There is a problem here where I reside. And perhaps if you deal with this problem, you might find strength which you can share with your friends to finish your own mission.
How long will it take?
Alistair, you should understand by now that time does not work the same where I come from. I cannot answer that question.
I remember now. Takes years.
But I can say this. Should you win and succeed in this endeavor, you will become a legend.
What is this problem? What is causing it?
You should remember by now. I've felt the deliciousness of your mind recapturing the memories that were once lost. Perhaps you remember an individual. Crowley was his name, was it? No, Crane. Yes. He was playing chess with me when you first came. Yes, it appears that during his stay, 2 unwanted visitors followed. And with their tragic and untimely demise, they have polluted the once perfect Winterlands. There is an object hidden deep within the forests. That item broke, and like Pandora's box, it has unleashed all kinds of tragedies and monsters. I don't much care for them, and I wish for them to be removed. Find this item, bring it to me. Assist me in any way that you can, and I promise, I vow, that you will have strength in this upcoming battle. Perhaps enough strength to tip the tide of war in your favor. Do exceptionally well, and maybe, just maybe, I will give you your soul back.
You grimace as you say that.
Ooh.
Just that one tug. That one tug. That incentive.
And there is a visitor here. He very much wishes to meet with you.
Why? Who is this visitor?
Come find out, Bigby. Tonight, the forests of the place in which you reside currently, they will change. The new moon, the absence of light, will bathe this land, and you will find a doorway. Go to that doorway. Come to me. You may bring your friends if you wish. I did say that the strength would be shared if you wanted it to. But the deal must be either accepted or refused by tonight. There will be no second asking. You should be so lucky that I am asking in the first place. You feel a slight, no, not even slight, you feel a deep chill emanating from some hollow place inside of you. It's like an organ that is near and dear to you that has been removed, and from that hollow cavern inside of you, you feel deep frost kind of spreading out, and it hurts. But just as quickly as it does come, it vanishes, as if she's proving a point. Tonight, Bigby. Don't be late. And then a wind comes and kind of rustles the map, and when you stabilize the map again, her face is...
He is going to do a big sigh and just look around for a bit and lean on the table and just think about it for a while.
Sure. Did you want to add anything, Head ST?
Alistair, as you're sitting there reading, you feel a hand just come out of nowhere and clasp your shoulder, and it's like, "Hey, boss, how you doing?"
I look back and try to see who the fuck it is.
It's Richard, the main warrior of your pack.
I look at him and, hey, what's up?
Hey, so that friend of yours, Julius, he wants us to go out and do some more hunting. Since you're, co-alpha here, I figure you want us to go ahead and go on another party here. Anything else you want us to try and bring back?
Bring back supplies.
Indeed. You getting
If you can get back to town, get some supplies.
You getting hype, boss? No idea how many pure and fang heads we're gonna get to kill in this bout, but I'm excited. I can feel it.
Don't. Just.
I'm not gonna kill our fang heads, boss. Of course. I mean, they're pretty cool, especially that Beth chick. She's kind of a boss, but the fang heads in Gotham are toast. No pun intended.
Just make sure you don't die. I know how you war breeds like to fight to death.
It's what we do, boss.
Don't die, we'll need you.
Oh, I won't be dying. But is that an order?
Yes.
Righto, boss. I won't be dying in this fight.
I'll have fun hunting.
He shifts right before your eyes into his wolf form and goes out running, and you can see a couple other large shapes go by him, and you can see that they're your other pack mates. There's a feeling of longing. It's very powerful. It actually forces you to stand up, and you want to go hunt. And it's almost uncontrollable, but you pull yourself back, and you regain control of your character.
As I do that, I try to head to where Saris is.
You head on over to Saris.
Hey. Are you busy?
Not really. I was just trying to make sure that everything was tip-top shape. What's up?
Do you remember Crane?
A little bit.
If I recall correctly, you wanted to find him and make him answer you.
Yeah. You got a lead?
Well, I might know where to find him, but it's somewhere you might not like.
Wolf boy, we've been through enough shit. Just spit it out, okay?
Okay, he is in the Winter Court. Well, that's what I assume where he is.
Memories
Okay,
begin
as
to
a...
flood back, Sarah.
Sorry?
Memories begin to flood back. You spent time in the Fae, did you?
Mm-hmm.
You answered the riddle of the door.
You did. When no one else could. But you also faced great terrors there. And a titanic battle of fire and ice and death and blood between a creature of monumental size in the shape of a bat that should have come from prehistoric ages and a psychopathic little kindred that just wouldn't die until they did, until they both did.
The Queen, she has
Johnson and
given
Johnson
me an offer.
is-
We get to kill Crane or do whatever you want with him, and she will help us with the coming battles.
And what's the catch?
Well, knowing the Fae, a deal is a deal. As long as we get Crane out of the picture, there is no catch. But then again, it is the Fae.
Alright.
My question is, do you want to come along?
Yeah. Let's do this.
He nods, and I'll go ask someone else to come with us as well. He goes
Yeah.
to Julius's tent.
You see a frightening. Actually, no. I need you to make me a perception roll while you're outside of the tent.
What's the perception?
What am I
roll
doing?
again?
No, not you.
Oh,
You're
7.
fine. It's Alistair that needs to make the perception roll. Wits and composure, I believe. Difficulty 8, of course. So
I got
that
2.
is 1, 2 successes. That is. I'll be generous. Yeah.
I have
So-
honed senses. Does that count?
Oh, okay. What does that do exactly?
If I recall correctly, I just need I just need 3 successes to make it count as an exceptional success, but I don't think it counts.
Just shy. But
Yeah.
I will describe it. You see things that probably wouldn't have been picked up on senses any lesser than your own, if that makes sense. Your wolf eyes capture a shimmer almost in reality, but you quickly dismiss that fact when you see that it is not a shimmer in reality, but in actuality a thin gossamer line, almost like from a spider, and it's coming from one of the many trees surrounding the area, and it kind of is just flowing in the air like a ribbon of sorts. And as a predator, as a wolf, your senses are more keenly attuned to movement. So when this does move, you capture it, but then another thing moves, and your senses go to pick up on that, and you see a long, slender, pointed, spider-like limb slither through the opening of the tent that Julius is in.
Damn it.
Julius, you banging Diane?
The camera will, with that realization dawning over you, Alistair, the camera will snap to Julius, who is smoking and clearing his mind and doing these things. But I would very much like to have you roll a perception.
Of
But
course.
I'm going to say that you're going to need to have at least 3 successes or above, just because of the meditative state that you are in.
Okay, and perception is wits plus composure?
Yep, plus any merit or power that you might have that alters.
Would my mind reading be added to that? Okay. Anything else that might? That's within eyesight.
Expenditure of willpower, I'm going to say, is disabled for this action alone, just because that you are in this inebriated state.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I was just like looking through to see if there was anything that would affect it. But sadly, no. Difficulty 8.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
You don't
Ouch.
notice anything.
Man, this is some good shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, I got a mouthful of Skittles, so I'll...
Don't
hand
worry,
this
I
over to
got a
Anna.
mouthful of Twizzlers.
I got crackers.
Head ST, can you stall while I swallow? I'm
wow. If you say please.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Please.
So Jared, as your
What time is it?
I know what time it is now. It's time for you to get violated. No,
More ways than one.
by
What time is it for the rape joke?
by a woman with 8 legs. So
That's just reality.
I swallowed, okay. I'm ready.
Clearly you already not.
Oh man.
Go for it.
There's an ambulance that's going by. Hang on. They heard me and someone fucking choked me out into the ambulance. Alright. Let's calm down a little
You
bit.
gotta relax the gag reflex.
No, I'm fine. It's the person that was driving that heard me that fucking died.
Let's you said let's come down?
Let's calm down,
Calm
but
down?
that's also fine.
I mean,
Okay,
the
I'll
cum
I'll
was
shut up.
down, just down on the street.
It is. It's gone now. Okay, so you are going through the process of inhaling this alchemical genius that you have created yourself, and holding it within your body, allowing it to go through your lungs, your system, to expand the ciliae, I believe is what they're called in the lungs, and kind of just really absorb into yourself. And then you exhale all that needs to be exhaled. The negative energy, the anxiety, the stress, all of the emotions that have no need to be there just exits and evaporates as if it were smoke. You do this again and again, and it becomes quite mechanical, almost automatic. breathing smoke as if it were an everyday thing, perhaps because it is. And you don't know if it is a hallucination, although this is quite the genius component. This is quite a powerful meditative concoction. Perhaps you don't know all of the side effects, or maybe it's just that you had a lot.
Too much stress.
There's many variables. But you feel like someone almost tickling your back or like near your spine area, like like someone is using their fingers to walk up your back underneath your clothing.
Okay.
It is a physical sensation.
Well-
Clearly, you can't rotate your head and like look at your back like an owl.
Well, let me just say this: Julius does go shirtless when it is hot out.
Okay. Then it is not under shirt because there is none. The sensation of it being on your back, however, is still there. And you are in Africa, where a great many
Spiders and things happen. Julius is going to slowly and carefully reach behind him and like place his hand in front of the walking. See if it is a spider, it will crawl up on his hand so he can bring it carefully around and let it go.
Yeah. You feel the legs of this creature kind of be apprehensive when it connects with your hand, and it feels delicate. It feels like there's tiny little hairs on it, and that the points, like you can almost even feel the hooks that all spiders have at the end of their legs, kind of dig into your flesh a little bit. But it does crawl onto your hand, and you bring it in front of you. You said
Off to the side and like letting it on the ground.
Yep. You go to bring it to the side, and then you realize that this creature, in quotation marks, isn't exactly what you thought it was. In fact, it is a hand, not a spider. Hello, Julius.
Called it.
Diane?
Yes, it's me. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
How has it been?
Well, we're about to go into war, where I'm sure you could feed quite well if you follow us into battle.
Not everything's about feasting, although that does feel quite good. I need to maintain my figure thin and lithe, so that I can feast on flies more easy. Something's coming. Here, I mean, in Africa. I
What?
feel home.
You feel like autumn is coming?
Not quite. But at
Huh?
the same time, almost.
At least it's not winter.
Ah. Perhaps that is what it is.
Too bad I don't have a
It's all-
sword and a bunch of pelts on my back. I could prepare myself for this.
No, silly. They're not coming for you. If they are indeed coming, I just thought that you should be aware that there has been a shift in reality.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, nor will it be the last, I suspect.
Julius, you get that supernatural tingle that goes through up when odd things with magic are happening.
Okay.
I was wondering, Julius, if you could pretty please do me a favor.
Being.
Something has indeed changed. Something big. Yes, I prophesize that you will be going to a place I know well. There is an item, I believe. Something, an object, perhaps, a person, maybe. Of great power. I feel it, even here in Ironside. I want you to do something with that object or person. I do like toys. They were always my thing.
Jared, would you,
You want
roll
me to capture?
Hmm?
Jared, would you roll me your willpower flat DC 10? Meaning only 10.
So
save.
only.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Fun little functionality coming into play here.
Do they still explode?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Fuck.
Okay. That was for your vice. I am marking down you have failed your vice. However, you have become an enslavement to your vice, meaning you get a beat. Congratulations, but because it's near the end of the game, I'm just going to say it's an XP.
Okay.
You're gonna what?
Normally he gets a beat for failing his vice, but since it's near the end of the game, I'm just going to give everyone XP rather than beats.
Yep.
It's an XP anyways.
Yep, so Jared, you are falling victim to your vice, your supernatural vice now.
My what
And
now?
Your supernatural vice. Your vice has been amplified.
Oh,
and
shit.
You feel like, yeah, like really nice, beautiful
It's been a long time.
beautiful woman talking to you, getting a little close, talking in a very sexy voice, using language, and your vice kind of breaks. And the reason why is because it was building up since last session, if you remember correctly. So I made the difficulty 10. You have failed. You got your vice. You got the XP. You may continue the scene now. Yes.
Wait.
Yeah. You may continue
Building up since when?
Since last session. You have failed your vice, meaning you must push towards your vice, but you have regained control of your character, and I will let you take the scene away from here.
Should there be a warning or disclaimer for our viewers?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, viewers.
Probably.
Yes, there is explicit content, but I think the viewers kind of figure that out with the first dick joke.
I mean, yes, but
There's a
here's your
difference.
final
No.
Yes.
There's a difference between the obvious dick jokes
Yes,
and actually getting explicit into
this is
falling into lust.
This is World of Darkness. It will probably get explicit. I'll warn all the viewers right now, for anyone watching, if anyone doesn't like
Though they should know anyways.
if anyone doesn't like it, to turn it off right now. We're giving the warning beforehand. But hopefully there won't be any
legal
more
disclaimer.
Yes, hopefully
Good.
there won't be any more dick jokes. But yes, legal disclaimer, rated M for mature.
Oh no, there's gonna be dick jokes after this.
Rated M for mature.
Let's be real.
Rated M for
Rated
mature.
M for
Oh, no.
Don't sue us.
No. This might get adults only. Might. Let's see how far we can take this. So where's Diane touching me exactly?
Well,
Your hand.
you guys can you can take it away if you want.
I don't think we're gonna get like X-rated, but I'm sure
I-
that there
I-
will be
I-
some
Of course, I wouldn't ask you to go that far. I'm just saying that he has his vice has just broken, and his vice is lust. So, take it away.
Which I must say is my actual vice in life. So this might get graphic.
Those in the front row will get wet.
Too late.
Or
Already.
like
Too
the
late.
first stick.
Too late.
Too late.
Already wet.
Soaking, dripping.
That squirt went for miles.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm getting ready for round 2.
So her hand, her fucking weird like spider-like hand, is on your own. But
Mhm.
her second hand, or seventh, who knows, is on your back.
Great, I'm fucking a Spider Woman.
That's not actually a spider woman. It's
I
just some
know.
kinda weird metal Coraline.
Yeah, I know. But still, it's like I fell for lust for that.
Just pretend it's monster. Just pretend it's the anime Monster Manume. You'll be fine.
No, well, yeah, I would. That Spider Woman is fucking hot.
When
Um,
you reach this item or person, I want you to anoint it in my special honey. That's all. That is all I desire.
Diane, you realize it's getting a little bit hard to walk closer. Actually, would Diane roll me a willpower, please? Difficulty 9 and higher.
Sure, might I say one last sentence before?
You may.
And I am a woman of my word. Fey creatures do so adore deals. That is what I ask. What can I provide you? And now I will roll.
shall I just go into my description of the scene now?
Did you say
Oh
difficulty
no,
9 or
it's
8?
not.
Difficulty 9 and higher.
It's not gonna get like there's going to be obvious
6
parts
successes.
out.
That's actually going to be
Damn.
4. That's actually going to be 4 hits.
But 10s explode, right?
Which makes 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It counted a 7 and a 1, which it does on
Oh.
occasion.
And this is something a little bit that's got nothing to do with you two, but Diane, for a moment there, you felt like you were kind of like drifting off into a haze, and like you were just kind of like, yeah, and then you, huh?
Have I steeled myself?
Yeah. It felt like you were almost gonna like fall asleep.
That's alarming.
But it wasn't coming from Julius, and it wasn't seeming to come from anywhere near you. It was weird.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a psychic roofie. That's
No. Well, it was, but from a distance. But it wasn't... You can definitely tell it's not coming from Julius, because you can actually see Julius suffering similar effects that you were just feeling. but you feel
A different
even
emotion.
though you've hardened yourself, and apparently from the looks of it, Julius has too. You
Mhm.
you can
Just
you
a
feel
tad
an
bit.
extreme desire for this person, but you're not like, oh my god, got to do it. I've got no control. Now you're like, wait a minute. You can stop. You think. You've steeled your mind. You still feel that desire, but you can see the desire. It's like, oh wow, I'm really craving this person for some reason.
Think about my deal, and I will reward you later. We have an invader. And then she kind of grudge crawls backwards outside the tent and out of the.
Do I get a second save from that, like, terrifying crawl?
From that,
Probably.
from the shocking imagery that you've just seen, roll me willpower diff 8.
I'm surprised I didn't even get into what I was gonna say, but I guess that's fine. It's very
There is a
tame,
jar of
too.
what is apparently her honey next to.
Oh, that's where the jokes began.
Her name on her name on Facebook is #give me your milk.
It's like
Oh, I like it when
minus
they
one.
milk
He's
me.
like even more excited.
Did anybody hear what I just said?
I heard what you
No,
said,
what
and
did you say?
it's literally what Tormund said in the newest Game of Thrones episode.
We will not spoil it.
I'm dead serious. Tormund Giantbane said the exact same fucking thing.
That's hilarious.
Breathe, brother. Breathe and make your roll.
Difficulty 8?
Difficulty
or
8.
what?
Difficulty 8.
Oh, button. Holy shit!
That was difficulty 7. But still.
1, 2, 3,
it's
4,
not-
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's only greater than 7.
9.
Not greater than or equal to.
So you have 9. So like, yeah, you just
No, I do not have 9. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I guess it did. That's weird. Normally it crosses those 4 or those 3 out.
If you don't want 9, fine.
No, I got 9.
Okay, so you got 9.
I
So,
just
so yeah,
miscounted.
you just like steel yourself and just like shatter just every aspect of that, because it was like, as kinky as it was, you're just like, no, and you shake your head, and you immediately break through that vice, and you're not really sure what came over you. Diane, we're always watching you, Diane. You really should put the poor man out of his misery. After all, him and his friends are going into certain doom. Perhaps killing him would be the more merciful way. He might actually get a little bit of a joy out of what you have to offer him. But that's right, that's what you specialize, isn't it? Deception and giving
Bondage?
people... Gonna kill the... Julius dies. Deception,
Perfect entrance.
deception and letting people down. He might get a good ride out of you, though.
Does his voice sound familiar?
Yes.
Go on.
Sounds a bit like the one who's been who helped you get here in the first place. The Puppet Master.
And which one is that?
Out of character, the one that's been manipulating the fuck out of you.
I've forgotten which one that is. DM.
You have told me that there was a individual in the Fey courts that was
Oh,
manipulating you, and this is the Puppet
yes.
Master.
Yes,
That's what he
yes,
calls
yes, yes.
himself.
Okay. Disappointment. Yes, I know that well. Every time that I hear your voice, I'm reminded of disappointment.
Oh, you wound me, darling. You wound me. I can feel my cold black heart breaking already.
You don't have a heart.
No, true that. But anyway, I really am eager to see where you will go from here on and what you will do after. Because regardless of what happens in Gotham in the next few weeks, it should be very interesting to see where you go. I mean, you can't use this as a ploy to kill yourself and escape me now, could you?
I tell you nothing.
Yes, well,
But this. Revenge is sweet. So very sweet. Like honey.
revenge is a meal that is best served cold.
Maybe that is also true.
Is that why it's in the winter court? Is it a frozen microwave dinner?
He strangles you and chokes you. Take 10 aggravated damage, please. He has invisible
I'm
strength.
sorry, I have to be the peanut gallery.
So his voice kind of fades a bit. And then he says, "Well, Diane, should you ever find love again, even if it is in such a odd specimen, I'll be sure to be there to break it. Again, and again, and again, and again. Keep in touch, dear."
Of that I will.
And the voice
Now
fades.
Get the fuck out of my head.
The voice, you forcibly steal your mind, and you feel the presence get forced out of your mind. And it is only you in your head as far as you know.
Yes, she is going to skitter back up into her hiding place. But the camera would then fade out and then in to the conversation between the Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
You had that realization that something had entered the tent.
Alistair,
Okay, I'm just.
as you walk forward
Go
to enter the tent and open it up, you just see Julius just kind of standing there like, "Meh."
I mean, did he go to the tent? He could have just been like, that was weird, and like walk.
He did, and he saw the legs and everything, but when he opens the tent, it's just Julius just standing there.
I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen and just. Hey, Julius.
Hmm.
Am I interrupting you with something, or you busy?
No.
Right.
I can talk.
Alright, so you're a magic person, aren't you?
Mm, I prefer alchemist, but sure.
Right. I assume you would be interested in seeing the winter court of the Fae lands.
Just so long as they're not trying to trick me into a deal for their benefit and their benefit alone.
Well, that's pretty easy. You just say nothing. Just don't say a word and it'll be fine. Or sign anything, or give them your blood, or
Yeah.
well, just don't do anything. It'll be fine.
Don't move. Don't blink. Don't even breathe.
So,
Well, I am
we
going to be bringing
are-
iron.
well,
Is in our
ooh.
backyard,
Anyway,
which makes it
we
easy
are
to
going
It's
to
take
iron
control
from
of.
also-
blood. It's not cold iron.
okay, that's good. We are going to the Winter Court to meet the Winter Queen and try to find an individual called Crane who is giving us a big headache. And in return, she will give us something to help us in the coming wars to come. Are you interested in joining us?
The honey
Yeah,
glistens and smells sweetly next to you.
yeah, I will.
All right, let me change the music here just a bit. But first, as night approaches, you all proceed to the local forest that's near your base camp. Are you bringing anyone else, or is it just you three?
Uh, just in case Matthew shows up, let's bring Matthew like next week or something. I don't know.
Well, he's not going to show up tonight. He's going to show up tomorrow night. But you're welcome to grab an NPC. Just tell me which one you're grabbing.
Probably was it
Jack.
Richard the last
Richard
time
was
who
the one.
went there?
Richard did go, yeah.
He's the guy who gave names to the Winter
That was
Queen,
Jack.
right? Who was
That was
Oh,
Jack
yeah,
Morrison. That was the
we'll bring
detective.
Jack.
Okay. He's a bit reluctant, and he doesn't want to see the Winter Queen again, but he'll go. He kind of looks over at Annabelle and
Misha.
Misha. Jeez, fuck. Misha. And he's like,
They're not coming.
Yeah,
Annabella's
oh,
very
oh yeah, oh
protective.
yeah. No. He doesn't expect him to come. If anything, he's scared to leave him. But he'll go if it means that it can help us out. He's definitely gonna hold her tight and give her a goodbye kiss and go through all the plans just in case something goes wrong and say here's places I've got that you can hide, be safe, blah blah blah, all that. In case you hadn't noticed, Jack is in love with Annabelle.
Wow, who would have known?
I never would have guessed that.
That went way over my head.
Well, Julius didn't come in until after the 75% mark, so he wouldn't have known anyway.
Exactly.
As you approach the forest with Jack Morrison, Alistair Bigby, Julius, and Saris, you feel the night air kind of cool in the African breeze. And as you proceed onward, you can feel magics and twisting of nature change. The trees become less tropical, less tall and plain, more pine, more redwoods, more spruce. As you continue to walk, the trail that was once very flat becomes narrow and twisted, and you start to walk into shadow and out of shadow, into the barely visible light in the moon above that has no light now that it is a new moon. And the forest shifts. And I will let my other storyteller take it away from here.
Mm-hmm. There is a very clear difference in temperature. Very clear. Where once it was humid and hot and threatened to drown you in your own sweat, it is now cold and still and dry. There seems to be ash falling from the skies, flakes of ash, almost like Pompeii, raining ash and soot. But it does so in a state of slow motion. As everyone should know by now, time is different here. There is a scent of burning, but there is no heat. There is a smell of brimstone or gas, perhaps, like someone left on a gas oven or stovetop but didn't light it, and it's filling the room. It's nauseating, but it will not be potent enough to drive you to vomit up your stomach contents, at least not yet. The redwood and the pines and the palms that have no place being there, the shrubs and the roses, the dandelions and the mandrakes, they're charred as if they were burnt, petrified, toasted, scorched. The clouds are not clouds, but rather an accumulation of evil given a semi-physical form. It's blacker than black. The clouds themselves smell of this gas. When the ashen flakes touch your skin, exposed skin, including scalp, you hear the sound of babies crying, women lamenting, fathers wailing.
Oh,
You hear
shit.
different voices whisper to you, I can't see. They took my eyes. I can't see. You hear little boys. Died. I'm trying to be strong, but I'm scared. I can't see down here. It's so cold. It's so cold, it burns. And there are monsters here. I told you that there were monsters under my bed. Why didn't you believe me? You hear the sounds of bones snapping, crunching, splintering. A deep, impossibly deep growl, a snarl, like that of a primordial crocodile, or the stomach ache of a megalodon on steroids.
Well, fuck.
Reality seems to ripple as if it was in some kind of heat wave. Yet you feel no heat still. You look down at the path and notice that where there were once flowers blooming with heads of yellow petals with beautiful brown centers, they are instead fingers instead of petals, with an eye in the center that watches you closely. And of course it is bleeding. When you step on the soil, you do not hear the sound of soil being disturbed, but rather glass crunching beneath you. Memories, they rise from the back of your head, from the deep, dark recesses of your mind. They remind you of all the bad that you have done. The theft, the violence, the lies, the betrayals. You may have ran away from these evils before, convincing yourself that it had to be done. It was for the betterment of the world. It's better off this way. Or maybe you knew it was bad. So very, very bad. And you hoped beyond hope that if you just ignored it, you would forget it. You were wrong. You remember them all simultaneously, and they're fresh, like recent lacerations to the soul. And those wounds weep. You weep. But you do not weep tears. No, not in this place. You weep tar, boiling tar. Yet it does not burn. It is not hot. It is cold. Colder than anything you have ever felt. Colder even than the Winter Queen's stare. And one amongst you knows that quite well. There is a clearing. You look out into this clearing and you see what once was a beautiful palace. Iridescent. The embodiment of winter perfection. You were there not that long ago. And now, it's destroyed. It is a ruin. Completely obliterated. Those towers that seem to radiate strength are now nothing more than embarrassing mistakes. Snapped splinters, melted ice cubes, warped mirrors, charred bodies litter the floor. The battlements, some destroyed under advanced pestilence, their boils and wounds infested deeply, they weep pus, feces everywhere, blood curdled like milk, their eyes liquefied. It is impossible to know if they were friend or foe. Now they are just dead. And just looking at them, you know that they did not die peacefully or quickly. No. But you do see a figure. One figure. A lone figure. Standing amongst a garden of corpses. Standing in front of the ruins of what once was perfection personified. They are cloaked, enshrouded, a funeral garb with a full veil. They seem to have blisters also, and their breathing is ragged. They are malnourished, impossibly thin, impossibly tall. And their aura drives you almost into madness. This is the Queen of Nothing, the matriarch of nothing, the lamenter of nothing. She was once the Queen of Winter. Now she is not. What do you all do?
Well, I'll take a moment to process all that. Not in reality, just player needs to process. Fuck. That was descriptive.
Thank you.
Mhm. Big B, I guess, is going to run to the Winter Queen and ask what the fuck has happened.
Yeah, I'm confused. We didn't dethrone her or anything, so.
Crane.
Demons. They broke through the veil. Bloomed from a foul flower. That thing that followed you here. That bat. That item I told you of. It was evil. Evil condensed into a material form. And it killed all my babies. They killed my family. I've raised them since they were babies. You must find that item. Save their souls. And in so doing, find your strength. Now you see why I am more than willing to give you your soul back. Just give me back my children. Bring me back your son. They took your son, Bigby.
Which direction did they go?
Direction does not exist in this place. You must hone in on evil. You must dwell on the evil you have done, and you must make sure it does not devour you. Follow your temptations, but do not fall prey to them. If you remain blind to your sins, you will never find them.
Big B is gonna grit his teeth and he's gonna turn into a dire wolf.
I take it you all proceed onward.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I would like you to roleplay with one another. This is an intense situation. Break open your minds. Express.
Yeah, you heard that he has a son with the Winter Queen. What do you do? What do you say?
Jack's gonna kind of.
Julius is kind of non-judgmental.
Jack's gonna look at Alistair like he's just gonna give Alistair the look that says, "Told you, motherfucker." And
Plus, he doesn't know the exact relationship between you guys, so staying out of it.
Jack is going to reach into his coat pocket, and he is going to pull out a very, very, very nicely crafted model 1911 45. And Julius, you're getting a weird vibe from it. Like you can feel kind of a radiation of energy from this thing, almost like magic.
What does my aura reading say?
It is exploding with prime. Radiates prime and a bit of entropy.
A revolver of destruction?
It's 1911, so it's semi-automatic.
So
It was
it's Strife's pistol.
It was the standard issue sidearm for all American soldiers in Vietnam.
I know that, but it's basically Strife's pistol Mercy.
In terms of power, yeah, but it looks like just an ordinary 1911.
Yeah. That would have been awesome if it was actually Mercy. That's an awesome gun. Infinite ammo.
No, these guns' names are Butter, and I can't believe it's not Butter. No, I'm just kidding.
Not the time.
Jack is going to pause for a moment, and he's just going to kind of look back at Alistair like, yeah, I told you so. But then he's going to pull out another 1911, check it, and make sure it's loaded. And Saris, the 1911s that you wield are very,
Mhm.
very well crafted. They were actually upgraded by Jack himself.
Mm-hmm.
And these two radiate primal energy that you can feel. You can't see it, but you, unlike Julius, can literally feel it radiating. You can also feel a little bit of primal energy come from Mr. Alistair over there, now that he's in wolf form.
Okay.
I think now is a good time for a break if people need it. I personally need to get
Indeed.
myself a coffee and go to the bathroom. But let's say 10 minutes.
10-minute
Just
break?
enough time to smoke a cigarette.
Yep, 10-minute break.
Sounds good.
We shall resume
I'll
in
meet
10
you back.
minutes.
All right. I'll stay muted until you guys come back. see.
believe you'd hit a girl.
Or they kill each other, so how the hell do they make the cherubs?
Who knows?
And
Where were we?
we are back into the world of darkness. The people were strolling through the forest to meet their foes.
Your inner demons, let's say.
No way.
Oh, we're doing inner demon shit now. Okay.
You not described. You were suggested to follow your darker selves if you wish to find the path that led to where you need to go.
So in other words, we need to split up.
Not necessarily, but you can if you wish. What
How fast do
dark
we want to get this done?
What dark memories are in all of your heads right now? What was your darkest, lowest, most shameful point? Let's go down the list. Alistair, what is
His
your
darkest, most shameful memory is probably when he first started shifting and he tried to kill people, and Rainy stopped him.
Rainy fades from your mind. Tell me more of how you felt when you killed.
It felt great. Like his beast was calling into him to hunt more.
Did the blood in your mouth taste sweet?
Give me a second. The music got really loud and I can't hear you.
That is
Could
a
you repeat
shame,
that?
Alistair.
Could you repeat that?
Did the blood of these victims taste sweet?
It tasted, well, he doesn't remember how they tasted, but he does remember feeling great.
How many did you kill?
He killed 7 people before he was stopped by Rainy.
How old were your victims?
He doesn't remember.
What were their genders?
Both. He just wanted to hunt.
Would you do it again? It's been so long since you've met Rainy. Since you've spoken to Rainy, even. In fact, everything is collapsing around you. Maybe it would be best if you don't see them again.
Alistair,
Maybe it's time.
Alistair, would you roll me a willpower, please? Difficulty 8.
Maybe it's time to give in to that dark place. To feel the blood in your mouth again. Hear flesh rip away from bone. Snap that bone and suckle on the marrow
I got
within.
you.
As the voice slowly starts to poison your mind, you shake it off just barely, and you almost fall down, but you remember that that's a lie. You spoke with Rainy not more than last night. She was with you. She helped you when you had your nightmare and your vision. That was a lie. You're still on the path, but the path has changed just very subtly.
Your friends, they will never understand you. Chris? No. Richard was his name? Yes. He sees you as inferior, not worthy to be alpha.
I'm
You're
going
also
to
a beta.
try to block the voice in my head.
Okay, spend a willpower, and then roll willpower with an extra 3 dice. But you must spend a willpower.
Okay.
Usually in these situations, when things require an expenditure of will, you do not count the +3. But this is up to you.
I'll allow it in this one because it's more of a currency at this point. 1, 2, 3,
I got
4.
4.
I have 4 hits. The voice kind of continues for a moment, and then you steal your mind, and the voice fades. But now we go to Julius.
Fuck.
What dark memories surface in you, Julius? What's the lowest point? Or maybe your best point? Was it your vice coming out for the first time? Or maybe not the first time, but the best time? What was your darkest and lowest?
Vice. The darkest point be the first time the vice was broken. Also, the first time he realized his power over biomatter,
Go on.
specifically blood. He snuck out of the house one night when he was 16. Wandered about. His parents had been fighting. Mom being a working girl, a street woman, a harlot.
A whore,
Dad
Julius.
is
Your mother was a whore.
His father was a drunk.
Your
And a
father
beater.
was pathetic.
The night Julius snuck out, he did a lot of things. He vandalized some buildings. He got in with a gang of street rats. Stole some beer, stole some liquor, stole some other drugs. They all got into it, and everything was lost to the lust. Everything went red. Everybody died.
How?
As
Willpower, ready? We're gonna yank this puppy over the mountain.
pretty girl, the gang, came on to him, he lost himself, her body, and it was like paradise. Almost instinctual. But as he swam deeper into lust, he tapped into something more, something deeper. something that made everything tick. As he pulled on that feeling, every drop of blood was drained. Almost like fountains out of the eyes, noses, mouths.
It felt good, didn't it, Julius? Euphoric, transcendent, blissful. Maybe you should do it again. You're heading into a war that you might lose very well. It would be so easy just to do it one last time. Ceres is there. She's a pretty girl, just like that pretty girl from before. Perhaps you can recreate that scene. Torrents and tides of blood and scarlet, the deepest crimson.
And that is 6.
I have a fine thing for you, my dear, but first,
Oh,
tell me
God.
about your love point.
I'm going to go with the night thought I saw my parents getting killed at my house. I mean, that is where it all started for Ceres, at least that she still knows.
Oh, and by the way, Julius, you feel a bit more calm and composed now that you've pushed it out.
Cool.
Ceres, you feel your mind almost start to close in a bit.
You thought you saw your parents die?
Yeah. I mean, she always believed that they were killed in front of her by Alucard in his Crimson Fucker persona. And he admitted that he did it, but
Why
yeah,
would
there's
you trust a vampire, Ceres? They invented the lie. They are in politics. It is what they do. They have refined it to a sharp point. That point piercing the flesh of mortals that cannot fight back. The flesh of your parents, perhaps. You really believe in that thing? If he is as old as you think he is, he would have had much time to conceive of lies and conspiracies. And look, it has been working. He has been speaking to you, whispering in your mind, and even has come out of your body time and again. He's getting stronger, Ceres. He is using you. Your parents did die. Remember.
Please, everyone who wishes to know, go to the music. I have done a little something something for you, Ceres.
Alright, give me one sec.
Ceres Victoria, the one made of flesh and metal, one who let her family die slowly and painfully. The mistake, the experiment, the one that brings death and chaos wherever it goes. Perhaps it would be best to shut down. Your mother's soul tastes sweet. You should feast upon them.
All right. Ceres, go ahead and make that save for me.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up on my sheet. Alright, so it's just the willpower, right?
Mm-hmm. One, two, three, 4 hits.
Nice.
Not a
So
critical.
are we all
but
playing the
still
music
good.
thing, or is that just
If you already looked at it, that's fine. But that's just what you hear in your head. You.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't heard it yet?
In the music channel.
Not yet. I'll play it now.
Mhm.
Sorry. Oh my.
Ceres, you are momentarily tempted, but you focus and remember. You remember exactly what happened that night when a vampire tore out the throats of your mother and father and watched them bleed on the floor. You remember the rage. You remember the power. And although your life has been a lie, you remember one thing so great and sweet. Killing that thing which murdered your parents. It was not Alucard. It was something else. You know you've both been manipulated and lied to. are Sarah's Victoria, and you're not going to be manipulated again. Your eyes take on a crimson hue, and shadowy smoke forms around your body. You are all standing in a clearing now. Julius, Alistair, Saris, and Jack. Jack seems to have shrugged off his own demons as well. He's done this before a few times. You stand in the clearing and you see the corpses of both what look like fae and demonic entities lying about in the snow, blackening the pure white canvas. They all turn and look at you. 3 of them, injured but alive. 3 demonic, almost looking like werewolves, but scaly and draconic, with wings and glowing eyes that pierce straight through the soul. They start to advance. And we will continue the combat next session.
Oh.
That seems as good a place to little stop right there, but we do have one more scene to do here. Let me go ahead and switch music.
I love that file thing. That was so fucking awesome. Who said that? What was it? The God Machine?
Who knows? It was just in your head.
The reverse reverb is really cool.
Yeah, that was a really good voice edit work. Well done.
Thank you. Hi.
Just a moment.
Hello.
Hi.
Someone drop out?
No, someone came in. It's
Someone
Mr.
joined.
It's Mr. Hyde.
Huh? You're late.
Our story now takes us back to Gotham City. On a quiet night. As quiet as it gets in Gotham. To the lair of the Prince of the City. One of her most prestigious. The one that she keeps in her tower, very well guarded. But tonight she's on edge. It hasn't been a good few weeks. Not a good few weeks at all. Seamstress, would you describe what she looks like? Her demeanor and whatnot.
The Prince of Gotham is a woman of astounding beauty. She has an air about her that transcends the current time period, perhaps Victorian, perhaps even older than that, royal even. She's refined, sophisticated, and proper. but not so much in an uptight way. When you look at her and recover from the beauty, perhaps you would take note of the way that she sits or leans or ponders. She doesn't look like a Ventrue. She doesn't act like a Ventrue. Then again, appearances can be deceiving. Her clothes are of the the highest quality. Her nails are manicured and painted to perfection. And although concealed in shoes, one would expect the same for a pedicure. All of her clothes are designer, none of which can be found by just walking into a store or a TK Maxx and just snatching something off the sales rack. No. These were custom made. Maybe by Prada, or maybe from someone higher, more elusive. Possibly one of those ghost designers that don't have their name out there, but caters to the elite. Or maybe she made it herself. Tonight, however, she wears a suit of sorts, not a gown. No. A gown wouldn't be appropriate for times like these. No, not at all. Her hair, which is long and luscious, usually, is pulled back into a tight ponytail. Maybe a bun. She exudes power and allure, like the matriarch's siren. But she does look troubled.
Mistress?
She looks... Yes?
I regret, to inform you that,
Spit it out.
Godbrand is forcing his way through, your security. We haven't shot yet, of course, but he's going to be here very soon. He's, letting himself in, ma'am. We don't... What do you want us to do?
Pull back, save yourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Goes back into a corner. The door to her chamber just whoosh open. It's kicked open. Whether or not the door was locked is up to Seamstress, but whatever lock was on the door is now gone. And you see a man standing almost 6'6", looking to be about 300 pounds of ancient Nordic muscle. He has a white dress shirt on that's been buttoned down, exposing the chest. Small tattoos run from here to there around his body, and even a little bit going up the right side of his face. He has a long ponytail going back down to his back. His hair is as black as night, as are his eyes. He has a beard that grows about down maybe about an inch, and is wearing black pants, black shoes. Would almost be mistaken for a older looking, well-groomed Deva or Toreador, if you will. And he walks in one hand holding one of your associates, which he then drops, who is still alive. Not too injured, but grasping at his throat, coughing. And in the other hand, a bottle of booze.
Good evening, Godbrand. It's been so long.
Takes a swig of it. He's like, yes, it's been 5,000 years. 5,000 years. You've been avoiding me. And now look where I stand compared to you.
Avoiding you? My goodness. I just decided to follow my ambition elsewhere. You were always so traditional, stuck in your ways, and I didn't want to get in front of that.
Tradition
So,
is what keeps us alive.
yes. Would you like to sit?
I will stand. I always stand in the presence of spiders.
Are you afraid, Godbrand, of a little spider?
No, I just
I
need...
didn't think you were the kind to be afraid.
It's just a better position to squash them from.
Ah, right.
Tell me, have you found those, that pesky little band that I told the kindred of this city to go find? Oh, you haven't? Oh, dear. That could be a problem for you. Or are you trying to undermine my authority? Again.
You were always humorous, Godbrand. But once again, as you have masterfully been able to expert, you're wrong.
Oh.
I know very well where they are, and what they're doing, what they're planning to. I haven't stopped them, because I know they will fail.
So it's treason, then?
Treason? Darling, I'm seasoning the meal so that when they come to you, it is a better feast. I only select the winning side, and it is clear that you are that side. After more than 5,000 years, have you become senile? No, that can't be right. No, you should know me. Me, the real me.
It's often understated how quickly a vampire can move with celerity 8. But it's a interesting gift that they possess, for they do not actually move faster themselves. They seem to step outside of normal time. Being as old as you are, you have seen this before. However, the speed is still somewhat startling. But one minute he's at your door, the other minute he's right in front of your face, grabbing your throat with his hand, not to the point of suffocation, but tightly. And he says, "Oh, you always were the defiant one, trying to undermine me every step of the way." And he turns your head slightly so he can talk into your ear, and he says, "Is that what you're doing now, I wonder? You're one of the only..." And he reaches his hand up. He lets go of your throat and reaches his hand up and touches your forehead. And he slowly brings his hand down over your nose and mouth. And he says, "You're one of the only ones I can't read. I wonder what's going on inside that twisted little head of yours." And he slowly starts to kind of pet your hair. And then he steps back. And he says, "I would love to see what is inside there."
I bet you would, Godbrand. And I know that at one point, perhaps soon, you will attempt it. But we have much more pressing matters to attend to, don't you think? What is a conqueror when he cannot conquer a single city? Almost you have, but not quite.
He chugs the giant cask of ale that he has and smashes it on the ground at your feet. And he says, "Yes, I really should get back to that." And he looks over at one of your associates, and he picks up the one who wasn't able to recover. And he says, "I hope you don't mind." And then he just immediately, without your consent, bites into his throat, feeds, and drains the guy completely dry.
That's a real shame. He was a pretty one.
Not much of a fighter, though, and he just kind of rolls his body off. Do have a good night, my dear.
You too, Godbrand, but before you leave, might I offer you some sound advice?
He looks at you with the eyes of a snake looking at its prey, but he stops and listens.
She smiles just a little bit, like she knows something he does not, and is trying to conceal the smile, but the joy is just so magnificent that she can't help but allow just a smidgen of a smirk. And she says quite softly, I think you should be extra careful. You never know what's going on at nighttime or daytime. Oh my. You put all your resources into strength. You've forgotten one thing.
What is that?
Now, this game wouldn't be fun if I told you the answer. Didn't you have somewhere to be, Godbrand? Have a good evening.
Quicker than lightning, he throws a tomahawk, purposely missing you, going just left of your head, and then is gone.
Men.
And the
They
scene.
never really can take criticism.
You hear a voice from behind you. No, they really can't. And the scene will fade to black. And so ends.
Oh, God damn it.
And so ends that session.